sky as well.
Yes, it would spread around the whole world.
Huh.
And
Wonderful.
I think this is another show too, Bernard, because it's maybe why all these rich people are digging into the ground and reserving their spaces be below the earth.
Below ground. Exactly. And what kind of life would that be? You know,
Really.
what is this all about? And oh boy, I can just go on and on about this, but we're breaking into the second third of the show, and I wanted to break into uh, the next subject. But before we do move on, I wanted to ask you if there was anything in particular about chemtrails that you think is really important for the general public to hear, whether it be chemically or visually or any advice that you might have to give the masses about chemtrails.
Start taking pictures. Looking up when you see something, one of these weird grids or lines in the sky. Take pictures. Start sending them to the papers. Start sending them to Washington. Start sending them to people in authority so the word gets out there. We have, there's now what they call the freak electromagnetic phenomena. And this is when an atmosphere is overcharged with energy, and it can result in a freak phenomenon, including unusual lights in the sky. So watch out for unusual lights in the sky, either vibrating or glowing clouds, fireballs, freak lightning, or sometimes thunder or loud booming noises without lightning or any storm near. These are all products of chemtrails. The chemtrails and HAARP, and that's another whole subject, folks. It's HAARP. Between that and HAARP combo is a double-edged sword because of all the metal particulate matter in the air of our atmosphere. We've lost a good deal of our insulating qualities that are protecting the earth. So, and you can also go to this website that I mentioned, and it shows we have what's called it's a spark gap test. And right now, these tests are over 300% over the normal range. And at that time, when this was done, the atmospheric insulating qualities have been reduced. HAARP is what they're doing is they're overcharging the atmosphere when the chemtrails are there with extreme amounts of electricity. And the metal nano particles that have shot into the air are getting into everything, the soil, and whatever is grown on it, the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, everything, including us, is being made into a more of being electrified and electroconductive.
It's funny you mentioned that because I was hearing recently that CNN was reporting purple lightning, and from what I understand, that's also I guess a side effect of the chemtrail phenomenon is this purple lightning that seems to be happening.
Yes.
Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, just what you heard, Bruce, excuse me, Bernard. And then what they do, they tell us these stories, and then you don't hear anything anymore. And then we got to go on our big web search and see if we can find, anything on it. I have some, on this website there are some very unusual cloud pictures. And Bruce and I, about 2 years ago, were out to the White Tank Mountains. It's a state park here. And all of a sudden Bruce said, look at those weird clouds. And we have pictures of them, so I'm going to send them to you so you can post them on your site.
Oh, please do. That'd be great. That would be great. The other thing about chemtrails is I think that a lot of people really have this feeling that that they can't do anything, and that's what I really want to put out there. Also, is that we can do something about this. Do you still feel that perhaps our voices can be heard? Do you think that if we scare them enough into it's like okay, gotcha? Or do you think that the opposite would happen? Because that is a concern of myself also, is that if we call them on all these things, are they just going to make it worse?
Are they going to make it worse, or are we going to disappear?
Exactly.
And we wouldn't be the first, because our scientists are disappearing under strange circumstances that know what's going on. So, I don't know what's going to happen. I think if the general public, though, does start yelling about it and is aware of what is happening, I think then and only then, I think we have to unite as we the people. And not only this, but a heck of a lot of other things also.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a change and a shift happening consciously around the world, and I'm really glad it is happening. I find that, and this is probably going to carry me into the second topic, is I'm finding a lot of other people are waking up. And not only are they waking up, they are going out of their ways, like you, like me, like, other people out there, and other, whether they be political pundits or New Age philosophers for that matter. They really want to educate the public. They really want to see other people understand what's happening around them, because there's such an apathy happening not only in our culture and the other cultures where they're just not educated to the fact that something like this could happen. I wonder about chemtrails and like the tribes in Africa, so to speak, the primitive tribes. Do they know what it is? Do they think it's a god, or what are they thinking?
That's something, having lived in Africa for so many years, Bernard, but I haven't heard anything, but that's something to do some research on.
That is something to look into. I wonder what they think it is, because I don't know how many people out there believe in the reptilians or whatnot, but there were a lot of reptilian images down in South America, and you got to wonder where that comes from.
Well, yeah, and in Africa also.
Yeah. Oh, we had it in also the Asian dragons and the Celtic dragons and whatnot. So it's a pretty prevalent image within a global mythology. But we'll go into reptilians on another day. That's a whole nother one.
Yeah, excuse me.
No, go right ahead.
People would just go to all this information that we've been talking about is just punch in. You can Google it. Strange days, strange skies, and it's all there. The whole thing. It's quite a long article. There's a lot of pictures. There's a lot to read. But if you have any questions, it's your answers. You'll find them there.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for that information. What do you think about the fact? Okay, we're talking about chemtrails, and we're talking about what's going on. Let's say behind the scenes. You were talking a little bit earlier about like drone aircraft performing this.
Yeah.
Who would be the one doing the remote control of this? Is it the U.S. military? Is it or NAFTA or NATO or or is it all the above?
Who knows, Bernard, what's involved? If they aren't remote controlled, the pilots that are flying these planes, it may be a big they may be being told that they're spraying the stuff for weather control, but it's a top secret thing, and they have to be quiet about it.
Mm-hmm.
Where these planes are flying out of, nobody seems to know. Do we have secret Air Force bases that are flying? Because these planes that have been photographed by telescopes, and again, if you go to the bottom of Strange Days, Strange Skies, there are some very good close-up pictures of these planes and the chemtrails and of them spraying. There's like 4 tanks under these planes, and sometimes they fly in tandem. They'll fly side by side. And the things that, well, they're picking up just a lot more stuff than what is, I think, being said. Not only the disease to